Yes, team. Hope we're having a good week. For those watching on YouTube, you're going to be wondering, is this guy really so lazy that he's going to use the same background that he used for that other video about his service? And the answer is yes. Yes, I am. We're talking a little bit about coaching today. It's been a while since we've done a bit of a business update. Full stop. But these last couple of months have been really kind of tying things together, bringing things full circle. I think, obviously, back end of 2024 and this year, 2025, has been just finally getting stable with things, making this actually finally work after a long time in the game. Massive credit to everyone who's been helping me do that. And that means that this year we've tried a few things. Not everything has panned out as we wanted, as we've started to branch out. But it means that these last few months have just been actually creating an iteration of this that really gels well with me, that aligns with my values, that aligns with the kind of life I want to be leading, that aligns with obviously my boy being due in November. This has really been my other little baby for the last few years, creating the kind of business and service that I'm proud of, that aligns with everything that I believe in. And I'm very proud of how things are now starting to look. It's really all starting to become exactly what I wanted this coaching experience to be. Certainly come a long way since 4 years ago, where I was having a mental breakdown in my friend's car because it had been months since I had an inquiry. That's when I looked like this, by the way. 2021 was not a fun year. Coincidentally, or should I say unsurprisingly, really, when I looked like this was when business was at its worst. I think there is a huge correlation with how we look after ourselves and how we show up in other areas of life. I think my standards back then were much lower than the standards that I set for myself now. And as a result of that, yeah, I looked gross. And my business was not up to par. Now, part of that's an education thing. Obviously, you learn as you go. It really does take time to build something that leaves a massive impact. And so obviously last year I was working with another coaching team that had me flying out and educating coaches, and that was incredible. That was truly incredible. That was all off the back of still just trying to be the best coach that I possibly can, just trying to learn everything that I could about physique development, health, longevity, nutrition. That's what led me to, having already worked with an IFBB pro, world-class athlete, and that was all just based off of that. Now, towards the end of my time with that, this is basically kind of how I got into helping these ambitious guys that are on the team now, and really starting to kind of find my feet within this level of clientele. I think it's so crazy that now I get to talk with these guys who are, flying all over the world, own their own businesses, guys who are doing some incredible things in their industries in their own right. And they're taking advice from me in regards to managing their health and fitness. It almost feels kind of surreal. And obviously that's where this kind of level of coaching skill set has come in handy. These guys want the best of the best. But how we got there was basically kind of towards the end of the time with the other team. Things just started to kind of move in different directions. I didn't know exactly how I wanted this business to look, and it was kind of driving us all insane. We all had, different ideas, and ultimately that resulted in us parting ways. It meant that I was effectively back to square one, and I still didn't quite know what I was doing when it came to the business side of things. But what I knew is that I was tired of playing small first and foremost. Some of the clients that I worked with in the other team, they didn't want to be there, and it forced me to kind of zoom out a little bit and think about what really unified the good clients, the ones that I was having a good time coaching. They were getting great results, and basically, therefore, how could I do more of that? How could I actually move further into that direction, lean further into that? And what I realized was that they were all just, uh, I say guys loosely. I have tremendous respect for women who are in search of more as well. Coaching women is interesting firstly from a psychology perspective. Their behaviors work a little bit differently than men, and secondly, obviously, there is a huge focal point on the hormone side of things and actual female physiology, which I'll be the first to say is not my area of expertise. I'd rather just focus on what I'm good at. So if a female wants a real top quality service, I have no problem saying that I'm not the best coach for that. so that's how we eventually kind of got into working more so with men. But it started out with kind of realizing like we're I want clients who aren't playing small. I want clients who are serious about getting phenomenal results. They don't just want to lose 5 kilos. They don't just want to lose some weight. They want a real standout result. But beyond that, clients who want that because they've tried other things that just haven't been getting them what they wanted. Most of my clients, this isn't their first tango. A lot of them actually used to be in okay shape when they were a bit younger. Then you grow, life happens, you have a family, work, shift patterns, things like that. A demanding lifestyle that often comes with its setbacks to your fitness journey. And that's what I thought I had kind of the best skill set to solve, because especially as I started to move away from bodybuilding, less about those extremes, I thought, well, you know what? I've got this knowledge. How can I use it to actually make things more simple and efficient rather than, just grandiose knowledge and next level detail that doesn't actually help anyone because it's all just, textbook smarts basically. So that's kind of what the mission was, to have a real lasting impact, to be able to actually educate my clients on how to master fitness, really, not just another 6-week challenge where they just starve themselves, not just relying on accountability, because as soon as a coaching experience is over, this is why a lot of people will rebound right back to square one. So it was me kind of figuring out the pieces. This is why now I settled on that offer. Coaching ambitious men to master fitness for life, science optimized. These are the kind of systems that even the pros benefit from. It is detailed, it is elite stuff. It's a custom approach that's made to fit your lifestyle because it's fully personalized. There are so many coaches now. The industry is so advanced nowadays. There are coaches that coach their clients simply just using AI and automations. They'll have an assistant that they hire in the Philippines, and they'll answer the messages for the clients. And then when a client checks in, it's just an automation that, this amount of time later, they receive a text, and it's all automated now. This is why so many guys are having terrible experiences with coaches and needing to search for the next one. My clients work with me like this, one-to-one. I guide them through every step of the process. They work directly with me. So I wanted to bring it to like a consultancy standpoint. I wanted to make it educational. So it's not just, they know what to do, but they know through the journey, through the different phases, through what that entails. I understand why they are doing it so that they don't need another coach. And this actually worked phenomenally well for, high performers, guys at the top of their game who have a life outside the gym, because I thought, the industry deserves more than, training every single day, those outdated bodybuilding style approaches. We don't need just another meathead saying you just don't want it bad enough if you don't stick to your diet. I wanted something holistic. I dive a lot into psychology with my clients, helping them understand how the mind works when it comes to nutritional adherence. There are so many factors when it comes to, especially longevity. I don't want to be starving my clients. I want them to be fueled optimally to perform both inside and outside the gym, to have high energy, to master their nutrition, not just starve themselves for a result on my Instagram page. So I knew that the industry could do better. I knew that we could do better than just, salads and super strict meal plans being perfect. I knew we could do better than just giving people boring lifestyle advice like, yeah, here's your macros, there you go. I knew that if I could find a way to make things efficient and flexible for clients who want it all, who have these other priorities in their life, usually they were getting in shape, as I said, but they've been in shape, but life gets in the way. They want to be able to enjoy a nice meal out with their partner. They want to, be able to incorporate spontaneous business trips. They don't want to spend every hour of every day in the gym. They want something efficient. That's what I was trying to create with Pinnacle. And I think that that's what we have started to settle on. The clients who've been doing this have been getting fantastic results. We've got quite a few here, but obviously I think some of the standout ones as of just recent, we've got Jamie, director of an agency, absolutely crushed it. He was, obviously quite significantly overweight, literally down to abs, dropped to, I think it was 25 kilos, 55 pounds, something ridiculous like that. And he's maintained that now since. He's been off the diet for a good few months. He's in a really good spot. Same with Craig. Absolutely unreal work here. 50 years old. Wanted to make a serious change, get his health on track. Another chap, Lee, recently joined up. He's 9 kilos down in 9 weeks, something like that. So he's averaging a kilo off a week. Big chap, plenty of work to go, but He's like, you know what? I thought this was going to be me learning the hard way after trying out all the fads, but this is actually, the easiest going approach so far. It takes discipline, it takes some preparation work, but it's all really doable. And that's how we've been getting such great results on the team. It is really awesome to see the kind of impact that this is having. The reason I love working with leaders, especially guys who own a business, or guys who have a family, anyone who is aiming high in life, is because you understand that that impact is going to extend beyond them. They're going to pass that performance onto their employees, onto their family. They're going to be more present. They're going to be more energized. They're going to just be performing at the best ability. They're going to have a great quality of life, and that's only going to benefit those around them. And that's really what we are aiming for here. So to see that kind of impact, to see guys literally now helping me, my client Tony's always chatting with me about ideas to grow the business further. Incredible guy. Guys that I can literally sit on the phone for ages with talking. We talk about more than just fitness. That's how we know that it's really starting to come together. The guys understand what we're trying to do here. They're trying to find me opportunities. They're trying to find me opportunities to come do talks at their work and things like that. They want to share what we've got going on with the world, and that shows that when I'm with guys that I can get along with, when I'm with guys who are someone that I can actually relate to at the end of the day. As I said, I stepped away from bodybuilding. Life very much became about being jacked. Yeah, I like being in great shape, but I wanted to have a huge focus on health and longevity. Especially with my kid on the way. It was a little bit of a. Those are some loud birds. Damn, big flock of birds just flew by. Anyway, big focus on longevity. I want to have the best quality of life that I can, and be nice and healthy, not just looking good like I did when I was obviously quite roided up. Example here. And that's why I started to really kind of put this whole holistic approach in play, and especially to fuel myself to build the kind of business that I was working on, have that lifestyle. I always say to my clients, like, if this is kind of what you want, then I'm the coach for you. If you want an elite approach, this picture kind of summarizes it all up. I think, like, if you want the lifestyle outside of the gym, good relationships, if you want an elite approach that is going to, oh dear, what have I done here? Yeah, that was me accidentally like zooming in the camera and not knowing what I was doing. But anyway, yeah, if you want that lifestyle outside the gym, good relationships, a good life, you want still elite results, but you want some flexibility in your nutrition, you want things simple but effective, basically, then that's what the Pinnacle program is really all about. That's how we're getting guys great shape with a custom approach that is suited to their lifestyle. That level of personalization, understanding a client's schedule, understanding their bottlenecks, is what allows me to actually put kind of the right pieces in play to give them something that's going to deliver that outcome. So the team's crushing it. I couldn't be prouder of every single guy on here. I couldn't be happier with what we are creating and the impact that is actually having. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what the next year holds for Pinnacle. Thank you, everyone who's been instrumental part of making this happen. And here's to what comes next. Thank you guys for watching. If you feel like this could be the kind of approach that will get you going in the right direction, then of course feel free to just DM me the word ready, and we can have a little bit more of a chat and see if I can help you. But otherwise, appreciate you tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one.